Chapter 1. The Journey to the Holy City. The dusty road leading to the capital city of Jerusalem during the Passover festival came alive with vibrant energy. Thousands of pilgrims from all directions poured in, creating endless lines of travelers stretching across the horizon. Amidst the heavy thud of footsteps, the braying of donkeys, and the soaring melodies of sacred psalms echoing through the hills, a simple family from the remote village of Nazareth quietly blended into the crowd. It was a carpenter, his wife, and their 12-year-old son. For a child in this land, the age of 12 marked a sacred threshold into adulthood. The gentle mother kept a watchful eye on her son as they walked. The boy moved among children his own age, occasionally stopping to gaze at the sky or listening intently to the conversations of the elders. The humble father encouraged his wife, noting that the child grew wiser with each passing moon, often asking profound questions about the law and the prophets that left even adults deep in thought. As they crested the final hill, the magnificent Temple of Jerusalem appeared on the horizon. Its white marble and pure gold plating caught the sunlight, gleaming like a sun brought down to earth. Standing before the sight, the boy gazed fixedly with an expression of deep, sacred connection, whispering about his father's house. Chapter 2. Tragedy amidst the caravan. The festival week concluded with the resonant blast of shofar horns, bringing days of solemn sacrifices and prayers to a close. The sea of people began to disperse, forming large caravans to journey back to their homelands together, seeking safety against road bandits. After a long day of walking, as twilight began to fall and the travelers halted to pitch their tents, panic gripped the couple. The father walked along the campsites, asking relatives if they had seen his son walking with the younger groups. The anxious mother hurried to check the front of the caravan. The only responses they received from anyone were shaking heads. The child was nowhere to be found in the entire company. Fear set in. The thought of a 12-year-old child lost in the crowded, chaotic streets of Jerusalem, filled with Roman guard patrols, made the mother's heart tighten. Realizing their son had been missing for a full day, the couple hurriedly turned back toward the capital in the dead of night, their hearts heavy with dread. Chapter 3. 3 days of desperate searching. For the next 2 days, Jerusalem became a terrifying labyrinth for the poor couple. They wove through the noisy markets of the lower city, inquired at every inn, and searched public squares and dark alleyways. Each passing hour felt like a knife twisting in the mother's heart. Self-blame and agonizing grief left them completely exhausted. By the 3rd day, having searched every corner with no results, the father took his wife's hand, mustering the last of his strength to guide her toward the temple. It was the only place they had not thoroughly searched over the past few days. Chapter 4. The Boy in the Temple. Stepping into the vast and majestic courts of the temple, the couple was astonished to find a crowd gathering around the colonnades, where the most famous scholars, scribes, and rabbis usually sat to debate. The surrounding people were whispering in amazement, their faces filled with wonder. At the very center of that circle sat the 12-year-old boy, completely at peace. He listened and conversed with the elders in a clear voice that carried an innate authority. When an old rabbi questioned him about the prophecies of the Messiah, the boy explained profoundly that the true kingdom was not to be conquered by the iron swords of an earthly king, but by the reign of righteousness and the spirit within human hearts. The understanding of a child who had never attended the great theological schools astonished the scholars, leaving them to wonder who had taught him. Pushing through the crowd, the mother rushed forward and embraced her son, tears streaming down her cheeks. In a mix of overwhelming relief and maternal frustration, she asked why he had treated them this way, explaining that both she and his father had been searching for him anxiously with broken hearts for 3 days. The boy looked at his parents with eyes full of deep love, but also with a striking divine clarity. He respectfully asked why they had been searching for him everywhere and if they did not know that he had to be in his father's house. The answer left the couple stunned. They could not yet fully grasp the profound weight of his words, but the surrounding atmosphere grew intensely sacred. The boy stood up, bowing respectfully to the scholars as he prepared to leave. Chapter 5. The Silent Return. Without a word of argument or a hint of pride, The boy obediently took his mother's hand and walked beside his father, leaving the grand temple behind to return to the humble, dusty village of Nazareth. He returned to the life of a dutiful son, remaining submissive to his parents and working alongside the carpenter's bench. Throughout the long journey home, the mother held her son close, choosing silence, treasuring all these things, and pondering them deeply in her heart as she watched the mystery of life unfold. The child continued to grow, not only in stature, but filled with wisdom, and the grace of God was upon him, finding favor with both God and man. The boy in the temple had accepted a life of quiet obscurity in a simple town, preparing for a grand destiny that would change the course of human history forever.